Boom. All right. Well, perfect. Give me a nod if you can all hear me well. Perfect. I think I see some nods. Okay. If you have the ability to throw your camera on, do so. If not, no worries at all. My name is Nick Martinez. I live out in Minnesota, and I'm really excited tonight to take a few minutes out of our evening here and just talk to you a little bit more about ketones and our Pruvit community. You're probably invited here by a friend or family member, or maybe somebody that you've been connected with on social media. They said, hey, you got to check this information out. You got to learn more about this drink. It's helped me with, maybe they said, energy, focus, fat loss, and crazy, crazy things. And they might have even said, hey, you got to check out this business, or you got to check out this community. We're doing a lot of fun stuff. We're helping a lot of people, and it's a really great way to create a side income. So tonight, our goal is kind of twofold. Number one, I hope for you guys to learn a little bit more about Pruvit and ketones, Ketonat, kind of how it works, why it works, why it's something that I've been drinking for the last 7.5 years. And I have my mom, my dad, my sister, my 2 daughters drink as well. Why that's important to me, and why I believe it's truly the biggest breakthrough in health, probably in the last 75 years. We're also going to share with you kind of a little bit about the company, how we got started, what we're doing, what our mission is, and how you can maybe be part of it if it's something you're interested in. So like I said, my name's Nick. I live out in Minnesota. I've been sharing ketones now for 7.5 years. I used to be a full-time airline pilot. I used to be with Delta Connection, and I flew airplanes for 11 years. And out of the blue one day, I got a phone call from a friend who happened to be a flight attendant saying, Nick, are you drinking ketones yet? And at the time, I did not know what ketones were. I was not on a ketogenic diet, nor had I ever even heard of the diet. This was back in 2015. And I said, no, why? She's like, I'm texting you a video. You got to watch this, and I'm going to call you back. So literally, I got a video I watched. It was 4 minutes long. It was a video that talked about ketones and campfires, just using an analogy of how ketones work and why your body likes to be in a state of ketosis. And I remember after watching it, I kept thinking, well, this is pretty cool, but it sounds too good to be true. And anybody else grow up with that saying, if it's too good to be true, you guys can fill in the blank. Probably is. I see a few nods, because that's usually the case. Now, when she and I were on the phone, her name was Judy. I said, Judy, well, why is this not too good to be true? She said, Nick, I've done the diet. I've been in ketosis. It took me 5 to 10 days to get there. And when I was in that state, I felt amazing. I had energy. I wasn't hungry. I was smiling. I was happy. I was able to focus, and I shed fat really fast. I'm like, okay, why didn't you stay there? She said, Nick, the diet is hard to maintain and be perfect on it. If you're not perfect, you're not in the state. I said, so why does that matter to me? She said, Nick, you can drink ketones now. This is the first time I've ever experienced this, and I'm feeling the exact same way I did. So that was 7.5 years ago. For some reason, I believed her. For some reason, I went online, bought a whole bunch of the product, became a promoter. And in the same breath, she said, you have to help me share this. It's going to change the world, and we're going to build a really cool business in the process. For some reason, I just didn't want to miss out. I'm like, well, let's see what happens. I'll just test it out on myself. I'll test it out on my dad. I'll test it out on my pilot friends. And I did. I started to go from being tired all the time to having energy. I started to go from craving all the junk on the road and feeling like crap at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning when I was waking up in a cold city like Fargo, North Dakota, to having a smile on my face, to not craving food, to feeling good. And I watched people around me that I shared it with transformed. I watched my mom, my dad, my sister truly have like life transformations because they started to change the fuel source to their brain. So tonight I'm gonna run through a little presentation of just a few slides to kind of talk through and share with you a little bit more about what ketones are and how they work. And then we're gonna kind of shift gears a little bit. But let me just hit the share screen button so you can see my screen. 1 second here. And slideshow. There we go. Give me a nod if you can see this. Oh, perfect. I see a few nods. Perfect. All right. So the name of the company is Pruvit. One of the interesting challenges that the society faced back in 2015 when Pruvit kind of got started, and really over the last 3 years have significantly increased, is people are devoid of energy. People have no mental clarity. We are looking for better performance. We're craving all the wrong foods, and a lot of us are just not happy a lot of the time and have gained a lot of weight. Now, this girl's face can really just kind of shows it all. This is how society feels. And the interesting thing is we feel this way really because of the foods that we've been eating. And most of the foods that we've been eating have come from this kind of category over here, carbs and sugar for sure, some protein. And over the years, we were taught to demonize fat. We've all learned that that's actually fat's not necessarily the evil. It's certain types of fat, but it's been the fueling of society that's caused us to feel crummy, that's caused us to not being able to optimize our performance, that's not been able to have energy on a daily basis or shed body fat very quickly. And it's really gotten us in America into a state where we're just as unhealthy as we've ever gotten. And we're in a state where there's no solution, right? Everybody's skeptical because they've tried everything and nothing's worked. They've tried all of the quick fixes out there. They're in line at the drive-thru at Starbucks for 24 cars just to get the cup of coffee to make you feel good for 10 minutes or an hour, only then to feel worse the next day. So like, what is the solution, or what actually is different? And that's where this question of like, what do you know about ketones and ketosis comes in? Because when I was introduced to this, I didn't know anything about ketones and ketosis. And the more that I've learned, the more I've realized this truly is the missing link to the human body, right? Ketosis is just an optimized metabolic state. Ketosis is a state where your body is using fat for fuel instead of sugar, meaning it's using ketones, which happens when you break down fat. It turns it into smaller molecules that you then can use as energy instead of glucose. Now, because 99% of our population has been using glucose for 90% of their lives or more, they're not very efficient at using it anymore. Anybody that's overweight, anybody that's over the age of 40 or 50, anybody that's diabetic, pre-diabetic, does not process glucose at an optimal level. So they're always devoid of energy. And usually that ends to overeating. It ends to eating more sugar. It leads to not being able to think more clearly. It leads to gaining weight. It leads to, you fill in the blank, so many different challenges. So if ketosis is an optimized state, the question is, how do we get there? And why would we want to be? So ketones themselves are signaling molecules. When they're in your body, they basically help your brain communicate. They help your cells have energy. They help power your mitochondria. So you get there endogenously through extreme low carb eating, i.e. the ketogenic diet, through fasting. I actually just am completing a 60-hour keto reboot, which is a kind of fasting protocol that you can follow using ketones, using protein. But just plain water fasting is not very easy. You can get into a state of ketosis that way. Or if you're an extreme athlete where you eat very low carb and then just go work out like crazy for hours upon hours, you can get your body into that state of ketosis. So that's kind of why for years or the last couple of decades, we haven't even talked about keto. We haven't talked about getting into ketosis. Why? Because you had to do the diet or you had to fast. The neat thing now with technology and with Pruvit's ketones is through exogenous ketones, meaning through outside the body, you can drink a fuel source that will naturally and very effectively and efficiently fuel your brain. And when your brain has fuel, when your brain has the energy that it needs, it powers the rest of your body. It allows you to be happier because now you're not like cranky for energy. It allows you to be less hungry because now the brain is fed. It allows you to also fuel your muscle and allows you to release fat. So you're able to burn fat faster. The benefits are just prevalent and go on and on and on. So what's unique about Keto OS Nat, like this product in particular? There are some other ketone supplements on the market. The biggest differentiator is the fact that there's 9 patents on Keto Nat, and some of them specifically are around bioidentical ketones or bioavailable ketones, as well as the natural fermentation process to create them. So it's all natural, no synthetic production. But this is the biggest thing here, the bioidentical, because if you drink something that's not the same as what your body produces, chances are you're not going to absorb most of it. Whereas if you drink something that's bioidentical, you're actually going to be able to use it. So how does this work? It's a powder you mix with ice and water. You drink it over the course of 20 to 30 minutes. And within an hour, you literally can test your blood and you're in a state of ketosis. Why does that matter? Well, the benefits that we just mentioned. You have elevated mental clarity. You're able to focus better. You have more energy. It even helps digestion and hormone levels. And it even supports you in just your endogenous production of ketones, meaning if you're wanting to release fat, it helps support fat loss. If you're wanting to do fasting, it helps support fasting. If you're wanting to do the ketogenic diet, it helps amplify and accelerate the ketogenic lifestyle. So if you're not doing that, you still get the benefit from ketones. That's one of the questions I get often is, hey, if I drink this, do I have to do keto? No, you don't. fact, if you're not doing keto, you should drink ketones because that's the only way that you're going to get them, which is really, really just neat. Like my kids can be in ketosis on demand. Why? Because they can drink ketones, which is really fun. So I mentioned fasting earlier, and this is a brand new protocol that we just launched at the beginning of this year. And the feedback has just been out of this world. I know some of you are doing it right now. This is our iFast 5-day, and it's kind of an accelerated intermittent fast. The neat thing with intermittent fasting is it's a powerful way to naturally allow yourself to be in a state where you can release fat, to naturally allow your gut and your brain to kind of repair their connection, to naturally allow your body just to take care and rejuvenate. And it's an easy way to shed fat or shed weight a little bit faster. Why? Because you're only putting food in your body for 6 to 8 hours rather than the typical like 16 to 18 hours that people are. And at the same time, you're using supplements, Keto Nat and our Keto Pro and our electrolytes that will help you maintain an optimized state, that will help you with satiety, that will help you with energy, that will help you to feel good. So it's a really cool protocol, and it's something that if you're looking to transform, if you're looking to just go a little further faster, it's a great addition. So at the end of the day, you're probably asking, how do I start? What do I do? Well, whoever invited you here has a link. They have access to offer you any of the products that I'm talking about. I would recommend that at the very least, you start with our Drink Ketones Challenge. It is a 20-serving box that comes in a variety of flavors, has caffeine and caffeine-free, so you get 10 of each. And this is just a great way to start. You can get it with our Subscribe and Save. If you're brand new customers, you can get it for under $100. And then the iFast, if you want to add one of these and do one of our bundles, we give a special discount for those. And getting this iFast system just kind of lets you to hit the ground running, lets you really kind of get your transformation going and utilize all the different kind of technologies as well as information just about like how your body actually works and the power behind that. So as you're getting set up as a customer, one thing to note, we do have a VIP club. And this is just kind of a rewards program. I liken it to, I used to fly for Delta, so I like talking about Delta. I liken it to the Delta Sky Miles Club. You just get instant access to rewards, to discounts. All you got to do is set up a subscription or a monthly shipment that you can manage. You can change the products, you can change the flavors, you can cancel it at any time. But every time you order, you're going to earn points. So you earn a point for every $1 that you spend. You can cash those in. 100 points is $10, 200 points is $20. And then you're going to get discounts on your product. And then after you've been a Subscribe and Save customer for 3 months, then you kind of get into our VIP Plus program, which just amplifies the discount, as well as gives you a higher earning on points, which is really, really fun. So that's our VIP club. That's kind of the, I guess, the way to start and the option for kind of pursuing better. And I'll tell you this, the number of people that I've worked with over the last 7.5 years who have either A, completely transformed their lives, meaning they went from being a tired person who just wasn't happy, that just didn't have the oomph to keep going, and all of a sudden things shifted, things connected in their brain. And like those type of people are everywhere. They're just, I see a couple nods. It's amazing to hear their stories. The other thing that's happened, I keep seeing over and over and over again, is life transformation, like body transformation. And whether you have 5 pounds to lose, 50 pounds to lose, 150, we even have people that have lost over 200 pounds of body fat. It is not a weight loss product, but what happens when you fuel your body and fuel your brain and fuel your muscles is your body lets go of fat. And then over time, guess what happens? The scale moves, and it's just insane, the transformation. I was just this last week hanging out with a guy named Jeff from North Carolina. He'd lost 150 pounds. A lady named Mitzi, who was down 118 pounds. My friend Todd, also from North Carolina. We were in North Carolina. That's why he's lost 80 pounds of body fat. And a friend Jordan was down 50 pounds. It was just insane. So rather than just hear my stories, I see a bunch of people on here who I know have been drinking ketones for a while and have had just an amazing experience with it. Let's see. Holly, I don't know your story personally, but you keep nodding every time I'm talking about the benefits of ketones. You want to come off mute real quick? Can I ask you some questions?
Sure.
Awesome. First off, where are you from?
I'm from Illinois.
Awesome. What part?
Central, just right there in Kankakee by Tally.
Oh, perfect. Have we met?
No.
Okay. Well, nice to meet you. So
Nice to meet you.
Holly and I have not rehearsed this. I've never actually met her, but talking to you for the first time. Tell me your experience with ketones. How long have you been drinking them, and what have you noticed so far?
It's been about 5 or 6 weeks now. Tally got me started drinking them because I'm tired all the time and I work 12-hour days and at the desk. And so I was just kind of frustrated because my belly fat wasn't going anywhere and I was tired. So she started me on those. And the energy, that was the first thing I noticed was the energy. And then soon I got to it wasn't very long and I got to my goal weight. So I lost about 5 pounds. And yeah,
Awesome.
It's been 5 weeks. It's been amazing.
That's
and now
awesome.
I'm a promoter.
Hey, well, perfect.
And I'm doing the reboot.
Oh, awesome. So the reboot, guys, is a 60-hour program that mimics fasting. A lot of people are doing it right now with us. And it literally is, you don't eat for 60 hours. Which a lot of times people are like, I could never do that. Believe it or not, though, when you have ketones, when you have keto protein, when you have electrolytes, it's an amazing thing for your body. It's super healthy. And it just helps with transformation, and as well as keeping your brain sharp. And also it helps with anti-aging from the inside out, which is really cool. But thank you, Holly, for sharing. I appreciate you. Let's see. I see another person. I haven't seen his face for a while. John Lowe, what's up? Come off mute real quick if you can. Maybe not. It's got to figure it out.
Is this where I talk to you?
Well, yep. You can turn your camera back on if you're able.
Oh, man, I'm on my phone. I have no idea what I'm doing.
No problem. Well, just tell us real quick. Tell us your experience with ketones, how long you've been drinking them, and what they've done for you.
Well, I've been, my wife and I started with this program about 1.5 years ago. I've dropped 60 pounds of fat, and I've kept it off this entire time. And it's just been a complete life changer for me. I mean, I feel like I'm 25 and I'm 55. So I feel way younger. My skin is healthier. Sleep, I get great sleep. Even if I don't get a lot of sleep, like 8 or 9 hours, if I get 4 hours of sleep, I still feel as though I had 8 hours of sleep. I'm wide awake. It's the greatest product ever. I mean, it doesn't matter what you need to do. It just totally revitalizes your whole situation. It's great.
I love it. Well, thanks, John, for coming off mute. Thanks for sharing. If we wanted to spend the rest of the night on here, which we won't, we could just go around, and anybody that's drank ketones for more than, let's say, 3 or 4 or 5 days is going to share something with you that they're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. It's cool. Like my mom, who is just turned 70, has been drinking this for the last 7.5 years, and she keeps up with my kids like she would have if she was 40. Like she does, like she's my age or my wife's age. And it's been fun to watch her as she's added muscle in her late 60s and 70 now, and literally is actually gaining weight. For the beginning, she lost some weight. She felt great. And then she got upset because the scale was going up. And I'm like, Mom, you look great. What are you complaining about? I said, Dad, does she look great in a bathing suit? He's like, yeah, she's trimmer than she's ever been. I'm like, well, what's happening? Well, you never hear about 70-year-old ladies actually adding muscle. And that's what you want to do as you age, because that's going to help you walk into your 90s, right? So it's just, we could spend a lot of time. What I really want people to understand is, like, this is the breakthrough of the century when it comes to health. Prior to this, you had to do the diet or you had to fast to get into a state of ketosis. Now you can drink ketones. And the significance of that is Pruvit is the only company that has drinkable ketones that are bioidentical, that are naturally fermented. It is a very, very, very unique product. And there are universities, there's tons of different avenues right now where they're doing research way beyond what we talk about, like on the medical scope, not just on the energy, focus, fat loss, sleep, better mood, mental clarity. But here's what I hear every day is, as people get better energy, as they feel better, as they're not as hungry, as they're able to focus, as they're happier and less stressed, all of these challenges start to just subside and go away. Why? Because the body's actually taking care of itself. The body's actually like happy and becoming healthy. So the reason I share that is when I got invited to this, my friend said, Nick, number one, you need to drink this. And then number two, you got to share this with me. So you might've had a friend that invited you here today saying, hey, you got to try this. And two, we got to do this together. My goal is to help make this conversation loud. Pruvit's goal is to actually, let me just click my screen here before I start to go into that. Pruvit's goal is to inspire people to become a better versions of themselves and to provide a community and technology in order to allow that to happen. And I believe we have it. Like the community that we have is second to none. The product that we have is second to none. And I've watched it over and over and over again. I've watched people just transform right before my eyes, not just from a weight loss standpoint, more so from a personal standpoint. And it's because that is the mission of Pruvit, and we're actually succeeding at it. So we are a community-based marketing company. What does that mean? It means we lead with education. It means we have so many different resources and avenues of explaining how your body works, explaining how to maximize your performance, explaining how to start having the story that John just shared, which was he felt like he feels like he's 25 and he's 55. How do you age backwards? There's actually a big thing right now, which is chronological age versus biological age. And most people's chronological age is actually way younger, meaning if you were to look at their body is acting as if it's 70, but it's really only 50. We want John's story, right? We want you to be 55, but feel and act like a 25-year-old. So we teach people how to do that. We also empower entrepreneurship and are really, like we talked about a second ago, our mission is just to help people pursue their best, right? Help people pursue their it. So we do this not just through our products, but also through a part-time side business. And I don't know if you're open or looking. Honestly, when I got a phone call from my flight attendant friend, I was not looking for an additional business. I was not looking for an additional stream of income. I had a full-time job as an airline pilot. My wife was a web director of finance for a web development company. We had a drone photography business and a baby on the way and a 2-year-old. So it's like the last thing I needed. However, I'm always open, and I'm always like, I'm always looking for the edge and for the neck, like something that I could be part of, something that was going to be great. And when she said, this is going to change the world and it can change your life, Nick, you have to do this. I listened. I just said, okay, let's see what happens. I want to test this out on everybody I know and see if it's real. And when I started to do that test, meaning I called my buddy Floyd, who's a captain with the airline, and I called my buddy Greg, who's another captain with the airline. I said, hey, come, you got to get this stuff. Greg calls me from his basement 2 days later. He's like, is this legal? Am I going to pop a drug test? I'm in my basement lifting more weight than I used to lift when I was your age. Greg was about 20 years older than me. Floyd and them still drink it to this day. And my dad, who's now 74, drinking it before he does woodworking, right? Because he's got to make these precision cuts and it helps him stay focused. So that part got me excited, because if this was as good as it says it was, then that means other people needed to know about it. And I was going to share it regardless. I might as well make an income or get paid for doing so. So the neat thing is you can start part-time, and then you can build this into something full-time. We started as just kind of in the nooks and crannies of my day, still having a very robust pilot job and still having a side drone business, a drone photography business. And eventually what started to happen is, because I shared it with a few, the business started to grow and it started to mushroom, and the impact and the ripple started to just get bigger and bigger. And very soon it became a full-time income where my wife didn't have to go back to her job after our second kid was born. And eventually I walked away from flying airplanes. So the question then is just like, what do you actually do? What does it mean, Nick, to be a promoter? How do you actually get paid with this? I'm going to go through a little bit of how you get paid in our commission structure, but on a daily basis, all we do is have conversations with people about ketones. And we make it easy because if you're shaking up ketones in the cockpit or ketones at your workplace, or you're at the gym and you happen to have ketones in the shaker bottle, people ask you what you're doing. You have a smile on your face, you're happy, and you're shrinking. People are like, what the heck's going on? What are you doing? When I was in the cockpit, pilot's like, what's in that? I'm like, it's ketones. You're not drinking them? They'd say, no, what's that? Well, here's what's neat. We have a system so that you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have knowledge around what it is or how it works. You just share a short 4-minute video. You heard me talk about that in the beginning. somebody watches the video, they realize, okay, that's interesting. This stuff works. How do I try it? What is, can I try it? Does it real? And this is a really cool thing. We have a sampling system that we teach you. So we teach you how to offer trial packs, 5 or 10 serving trial packs. And then that lets people experience it. And then after that, they decide to become customers or promoters. It's a really, really simple business model because I go to Costco quite often. I like going to Costco. It's my favorite place. And when I go there, there's always somebody handing me free samples. And inevitably, I try one of those samples and I'm always like, where is it? How do I get it? I'm going to get some. Guess what I do? Has anybody been to Costco and experienced this where you came home with way more stuff than you needed to? I see a lot of nods. You're like, how did I just spend $400 on groceries? Oh, wait, I bought 5 items that I did not need to buy because I tried them and I liked them. Well, we use the same kind of marketing here. I get people to try ketones. They feel amazing. They have energy. They like the flavor. And guess what they do? They go to your website, they order. Now you not only you covered the cost of your samples, you made a little bit of money from selling those. Now you're earning website commissions, which is pretty fun. But let me just show you kind of how this works. So if you're interested in becoming a promoter, the next step is just to get started. And we have a couple packs right now. And there's a huge promotion that just launched last night. It's one of the reasons that we decided to have this Zoom tonight, because yesterday they launched a promotion into the end of the month. And right now, when you grab either the Max or the Mega trial builder packs, you're actually going to get a discount from these, $50 or $200 off, which is insane. You're also going to get the promoter membership for $1. So literally, you get to start this business for $1. And now this product serves as your getting started samples, right? Except for the Costco lady gives those samples out for free. We're going to teach you how to sell the samples as trial packs. So sell 5 or sell 10. Now, not only is it $1, but you're also getting a massive discount on the ketones. So the neat thing with this $200 off, it ends up being like over 50% off, which is insane. And this ends up being like 36% off or just something ridiculous like that. So if you sold through this, you would earn, and at the pricing that we kind of recommend, which is 5 servings for $40 or 10 servings for $75, you would bring in like $1,900, and this costs you about $800. And this one you'd bring in, I think it's like $920, and this is costing you less than $500 because of the minus $50 here. So just by selling the samples, if you sold half of them, then you would get your product covered. Now, when somebody is saying, Nick, I want to get started, I want to drink ketones as much as possible, but I just don't have the money, I say, well, let's get you set up as a promoter. Let's help you get this into the hands of your friends. And literally, if you just help like 10 friends go get started, you've got the cost of your product covered, and you got product in your hands that you can drink. And next thing you know, you're hitting the ground running. So that's kind of how you get started. The neat thing is that's all like just fun money that covers your costs and kind of helps you buy some more ketones. We also have a real compensation plan. And I want to just run through real quick what's possible, just a quick scenario, because I had somebody that came on one of these Zooms once and I didn't go through these slides. And they're like, Nick, you told us a lot and we were excited about it, but how do you actually make money? Is this real? Like, can you actually get paid in this company? And I'm like, we do have a lot of income and a lot of money to be made. But let me real quick just run through. And if this bores you, you can just be bored for a second. But it maybe you're a numbers person like I am, and you can get excited about this. So we have this thing called MVP. And this is just a way to get paid an extra $500 bonus over the first 3 months, each of the months. So you can earn it 3 times. And all you have to do to hit it is enroll 3 customers with one of those packs and 2 promoters with one of those packs. With like the customers would buy one of those bundles that I talked about in the beginning, and the promoters, either the Max or the Mega. And if you do that, you've had this required volume, this 2,000 and new personal qualifying volume. It doesn't have to look like this. It could literally be 10 customers. It could be a minimum of 3 customers, but it could be 3 customers and 2 promoters. It could be any combination. It's more just volume related, but in a perfect world, 3 customers, 2 promoters. That's going to earn you a $500 bonus. You're going to earn commissions along the way. We have a retailer bonus. You have residual commission you start to earning, which is really fun. You have upfront commissions you earn on promoters that you enroll. So literally, if you hit this, you can see the cumulative income. And that's in addition to any of the trial packs that you sold. So that $1,900 that you could have brought in for selling that Mega, or the $900 for selling through the Max. And that's day 1 through 30, day 31 through 60. The next month, we want to do it again. And you can see as the income starts to grow, You're earning an additional $500 bonus. And again, you have another opportunity to hit that. And again, it's another $500 bonus. And there's other bonuses that you get to hit. I know there's a lot of information on here. You're probably like, what the heck? I want to know all the stuff. Don't worry. We've got Zooms, and we have videos that explain all of this in detail. So you don't have to absorb it right now. And then that 120 days, we have a whole bunch of other stuff that you can hit. And like you can earn up to $10,000 extra in bonuses. And we really have a roadmap if you're looking for it to hit kind of leadership levels in our company and to hit the ability to really, put a fantastic side income or even a full-time income in your job. If you help 15 people just do MVP in a month, you're essentially what we call a rank 6, where you get a car bonus, which is really fun, a paid for car. We have tons and tons of people that drive a car paid for by Pruvit. And you can see the average rank 6 income, which is pretty awesome for a part-time side business. Now we have, kind of upper leadership ranks where as you start to help more and more people do this, if you just help 3 people hit rank 6 in a month, or you help 50 people do what we just talked about, now you're earning an extra average of $100,000 as a rank 7. And then we have beyond there, we have rank 8, we have rank 9, we have rank 10. I won't go through all of those, but at the end of the day, it's not just about the money. In fact, it's very like in Pruvit, we rarely talk about income. We rarely talk about the money. What we really talk about is, hey, it's time to get healthy. Hey, it's time to help other people. And hey, it's time to help yourself. And helping yourself means plugging into success-minded people, means coming to our events and learning how to become more and how to become a better dad and how to just become a more confident individual, how to become a better leader. And at the same time, we teach community-based marketing. How do you empower people in your community to create an impact, to create change? And at the end of the day, the value that we've seen, the impact that we've seen across all communities is just, it's incredible. It's fun to be part of. So what you have to ask yourself at this point is, do you want to get started as a customer? Do you want to save money and earn rewards as you order? This is a no-brainer. Like at the very least, join us as a VIP customer, set up your subscribe and save and start getting those benefits. And then the last option is join us as a promoter. If any of this resonates, or if the person that invited you here, like you're like, hey, I'd love to work with them. Hey, I'd love to be around them more. Hey, I'd love to participate in that. Becoming a promoter is like just a fun option. Number one, you're going to be in the path to hit the best health of your life, right? This is going to be the best 5 years of your health ever. I can guarantee it if you follow what we talk about, if you plug into our education and plug into our community. Number two, you're going to have a path for financial benefits, for financial freedom, right? An extra $500 a month for most people will make a massive difference in the monthly bills or in the monthly debt or in the monthly vacations, like whatever you want to use it for, right? And having a path to create that flexibility in my life allowed us to really start to do more fun things, to start to, pay for more things for our kids. And then at the same time, it allowed us to start dreaming again, to thinking bigger of what if we could create this in the nooks and crannies of our day that eventually replace our job. Like, what does that mean? Well, it means this morning after the kids got on the bus, my wife and I went and played pickleball for 2 hours. And then we came home, did some work, had some phone calls, talked to some people about ketones, had our nanny that's going to be helping with the kids this summer over to meet the kids. We went on a little dinner date and now we're here. Right? It's just amazing what's possible when you start to create that. But beyond the income is plugging into a group of like-minded people, a group of positive people. Right now, there's so many just challenges going on in the world. If I go talk to my neighbors, it's not usually an uplifting conversation. It's not usually like just breathing positivity into others. But if you come and hang out with this Pruvit community, which we have trainings, we have a system, we have Zooms, we have events, next thing you know, you're lifted with everyone. The collective community is just about empowering people to become the best versions of themselves. And finally, we have a path for personal development, right? If you want to become better, this is a place to be, because that's really what we are all about. So before we sign off, I'm going to have just, I think, one person share here. I see her on the screen. Her name is Lori Hart. She's wearing some fun earrings. And always wearing fun earrings. Lori, if you want to come off mute and just share with us, why are you excited about, maybe how long you've been drinking ketones, why you're excited about our Pruvit community and this business itself?
Yeah, hey guys. Hi, I'm Lori Hart here. I've been drinking and sharing ketones now for 2.5 years. Time is flying. I can remember when I was on these Zooms saying I've been drinking them for 3 months. So it's been amazing for me. I love our community. So if you're thinking about this and you just had that little tug in your heart, I've been talking to a lot of women lately and men that are just feeling like something's missing. You know, they want to get healthy, they want to share with their friends, and they're looking for something. They're looking for something to bring in extra income. And like Nick said, this is a great combination because you get to do both at once, right? You get to feel better, you get to help other people feel better, and you get to put a little bit extra money in your bank account. For me and my family, like I said, I started 2.5 years ago. And I'm an entrepreneur at heart, so I knew I was going to create something big here, but I didn't know how big and how exciting it would be. Just meeting the people that we have in our community, the trainings that we have in our community, and it's okay to be brand new. It's okay to start where you are and just kind of grow over time. So for me and my family, it's just been an amazing journey so far, and we're creating a great, side income and dreaming big for the future. So that's kind of where we're at.
I love it. Thanks, Lori, for sharing.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure hanging out with you guys. Thanks so much for taking time to be here. My encouragement is get back to whoever invited you here and just say, hey, I want to get started hey, I'm ready to get going. I want to start with that mega pack, or I want to start with that max pack, or I want to start as a customer in the VIP program. Let them know how you want to start. Get any questions that you have answered and join us. It's one of those things where you're going to start drinking it, and inevitably you're going to have people all around you who are like, what are you doing? And usually that's how we start having the conversation of, hey, you should just join us as a promoter. It's going to be lots of fun. So thanks for being on. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for all who came off mute and shared and let me put you on the spot. I hope you have an incredible evening, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye now.